Hello, everybody. It's Salabama. Welcome back to another episode of our Minecraft world. Today, I'll be doing a fairly swift episode. Just want to start off by showing you this cool wooden structure I built. I found it online. Definitely link in the description. Shout out to the guy who initially made it. This is a great little build here. Little coal farm. It's a circular build, which is nice because once we get to the top, I'll show you. It really does look over our entire world, which is pretty cool. You can imagine something like the zookeeper lives here. So like I said, this will be a fairly short episode, swift. And in terms of we're just gonna be getting the spider farm. And I like this part. You can look down and see the aquarium. Yeah, so like the title suggests, we're going to be making a spider farm, and this is that view I was talking about. You can see there's the dojo and the fire station, and just get over here. You can see a little mountain base and the zoo. So I mentioned in the last episode, which honestly was a while ago in terms of recording, that I wanted to make a spider farm for string with 1.17 coming out. We're going to need a buttload of string. There's all types of recipes that use string. And you can see I just made a quick cut. Got some stairs here because I already know where there's a spider farm. I mentioned that in the last video. So just going to do a little time lapse here. And you can actually see I use an upside down stair as a kind of a replacement block. But yeah, just a quick time lapse and me building down to the spider farm. Oh, some lag on my end. I don't know if you guys are experiencing that. I hope not. Yeah, so you can see where I went down. The spider farm really is not far away from our castle at all, and it's literally on the edge of Kung Fu Wu's airport. So I'm not sure how we're gonna integrate path directly down to it. Normally I'd put a house on top of something like this, but I don't know how that would be with the airport vibe. But I'm sure we'll figure that out. So quick peek in there and see the spider spawner. So that's eventually what we're gonna turn into the spider farm. Yeah, so anyways, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so it's just very two different building styles. We have the very, I don't want to say modern, but definitely more modern than our castle airport. And then we have a more, like medieval, old school style, castle. Oh my god, I think that zombie just spawned a baby zombie. That was interesting. Yeah, so you can see these are so many caves that need to be lit up. And I could go ahead and light them all up and make a big mob farm and it would spawn every type of mob. I think I would spawn spiders. But I got a lot of things on the go. I'm a student. I also work a full-time job. So we're just gonna do our best with the time we have, and for me right now, that's just making a little spider farm. So by the end of this episode, you'll have seen me fully construct the spider farm, and hopefully it'll be operational. So all they have on me is these lanterns. So you gotta stop saying so a lot. Anyways. I wish I had torches, but all I have is lanterns in my inventory, and that will have to do. So I just want to clear out the all the spiders actually in the room right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and just take one look around, kind of get my bearings. I don't really have a good sense of direction, so this is kind of important for me, and I still got to finish off the staircase too. And so you actually saw I went up kind of like a sideways entrance there. That was my last, uh, like just regular block staircase down. And now I'm just trying to make it safe for me. Just trying to do the final last few touches, lighten up the area, blocking off any ways some mobs could come and attack me if I was AFKing. And all of this is pretty important before we finally go ahead and actually make the farm. You gotta really secure down the location, especially if this is your first time being here. And you see my inventory is a mess at this point. So it's a nice thing about being in a mine shaft. There's wood, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a chest and just store all my items temporarily here. Eventually, I'll take them back over to the castle, along with all my string we'll get. So I'm gonna be end up making a very basic spider farm. If you're curious, it's gonna use water to push them around, and then piston loop to push a trident to take out the spiders. And I'm pretty sure trident killing is something unique to Bedrock. You might want to double check that, but this type of farm I don't believe would actually work in the Java edition, because just our killing chamber at the end, I think, is the only difference really. How we kill the spiders. And I might be wrong. It might just be that we get the effects of tridents. So yeah, quickly back to the castle. I just had to get some more materials. And back to the spider farm. Yeah, it might just be that when you have a trident and you have a sword in your hand, let's say that sword has looting 3 and that trident's on the ground killing mobs, you'll get the effect of your sword on that trident. So you'll get looting 3. In this case for string, which is awesome. But like I have a blaze farm, maybe I'll show that off one day, but you just stand there with your looting 3 sword out and you'll get looting 3 on those trident kills. So now we need to actually make the room. This is the area they're going to spawn in. It's going to end up being so it's actually technically a 10 by 9 area, but I'm initially going to make out a 9 by 9 area. And I do this because it's been a while since I made a spider farm, and for every other mob, it would be a 9 by 9 room, with the 9th block being the what pushes the mobs into the killing chamber. And this is hilarious. This is sped up, and you can see I flew into a string, and it took so long for me to get out in real time. But yeah, so with spiders though, compared to other mobs, they're a little bit they're a little bit chunkier. So you actually need a 10 wide room. So the canal that pushes them is a 2 wide area instead of 1, so they can actually fit down. And that translates to the killing room. It will need to be a 2 by 2 area. So you'll see. Eventually, I'll figure it out. I spend a good amount of time repairing and taking down this wall, and you see, I don't have any iron in my iron shulker, so that's kind of sucks. And what I did there is I put my axe into the chest and I took it out immediately. If you notice, I don't have my bow anymore. I can't find it anywhere. I think I'm gonna have to make a new bow. You see, I'm a good level, and we have all types of enchanting books, but it's just always a pain having to make new equipment. At least it's a bow, and so it's not like I have to go and get like more netherite or anything like that. Okay, just sleep away the night, and I think it's time now to get more materials. I'm gonna have to make a lot of trips to the castle and back, and whoosh, almost just crashed into our slime farm. Yeah, I keep forgetting things. It's been a while since I've made a farm like this. There's me getting the water. And even placing the water here, you're gonna see I struggle. I I don't know why I've had having such a hard time. It's all good. Sometimes you're gonna have days like that. It's just a little slow, but eventually we'll get it done. So we have our 9x9 room here. This is a 9x9 right now. I still need to make it a little wider. And so why do I struggle here? It's because all of the blocks at the end become source blocks. And it's just how I place the blocks. And you'll see I make the same mistake twice or maybe even 3 times. I don't even know. And I just eventually, like you'll see, I'll get frustrated and I'll just do it very carefully, one at a time. There we go. Break those source blocks, and now we have it done. And see, a 9x9 just doesn't do it. So you really do need a 10x10. It's the only way to make one of these things. And you're gonna want to take it all the way to the ceiling. It doesn't, like, you don't want the ceiling to be too short, but it doesn't really matter if you make the ceiling too tall. There's no max height that will make it you get worse rates, but there's definitely a minimum height, if that makes sense. So I think my ceiling might be a little bit tall is what I'm saying, but it's no worries. And if your ceilings are too tall, don't feel too much anxiety over that. And one more cut. I mean, not the last cut. There's gonna be lots of cuts. I have to keep getting odds and ends, but 2 more buckets of water, because now we want to push the mobs to the killing chamber. So you have to think about this. You can put it on either the left or right side, and I end up putting it on I don't know what side you'd consider that, but I do it that way because I want to push it more towards Kung Fu Wu's base, just to the left. And part of that is as I come down the stairs from the right to left. So eventually I hopefully will just make the staircase lead right to this collection chamber. So now I'm just covering out the killing chamber. It's all done here. Now I just have to finally put the pistons in and the observers. And once again, I'm just kind of thinking, which way do I want to be facing to collect these things? So I make a little hallway, a little corridor, and I'm actually going to like edit these. And you see the first spider fell in there, so you know it's working. So you see here, I do make the staircase, and it wraps right around perfectly to the start. Just like that. So now we just grab our pistons and the observers, and we can do our final part of our spider farm, and that is make the killing device. So we will I have 5 pistons, or pistons, but you only need 4. So place them in this orientation, and then you can just place the observers wrapping around. So each observer will trigger the next observer. And you see I mess up placing an observer. It's no big deal. They're a little tricky to place sometimes, especially in a confined area like this. And here's the tricky part. You want to make sure you throw the trident at the piston. If you just kind of throw it in the middle, it might glitch out. And you'll notice, I will say that I snickered because Bedrock glitches out a lot. It's something you just gotta get used to if you play the Bedrock edition. So now this is a very important feature about spider farms. We need campfires. Spiders can't climb campfires. That's an important game mechanic to know. So when you're building these farms, and anything you don't want spiders to climb, campfire will work. It also, in this case, will do damage to the spiders, which you won't get the looting effect if they die from fire damage, but it does help kill spiders. It keeps the efficiency up on the farm. The total spider string per like hour or minute, whatever you want to AFK for, does technically increase. So you actually just remove the top layer here, and you only have to put them along the edges. You want a half slab there so you can get the experience, or you can also just kill the spiders as they fall, because that'll be also more efficient than waiting for the fire or the trident to kill them. Assuming you have a decent sword. Like, if sharpness 5 netherite sword. Uh, so you honestly, many people might not have that if they're planning on survival. That isn't that easy to get, honestly. But even if you have a diamond sword, like at sharpness 1 or 2, it would increase the efficiency whole lot. So I'm making the collection system here, and I do something really dumb. Just a simple double chest hopper setup. But I keep making hopper with chest, and I need a hopper with minecart, and eventually I'll get it. But I'm like, I can't figure out. I'm like, why won't my string collect? And so I'll get there eventually. But you saw it right there, the hopper with the chest, or the minecart with the chest in it. It won't do, and I don't even quite realize it yet. I'm doing the last little bits here. Once you have the killing chamber all set up and all the water and it's all dug out, you have the 10 by 9 room. Now you just have to knock out the torches. So the only important thing you really need to know here is just don't break any source blocks while you're in here. I place a half slab on the spawner so no spiders will spawn there. If spiders spawn on the top of the spawner, they'll probably just hang out there. They might eventually walk off and get killed, but that will slow down your rates a whole lot if a spider spawns on there. And now we can just turn it on, and you can see they're taking damage. So I wish I could say this was a working spider farm, but I still need to switch out the minecart at the bottom. We're almost there though. It's looking good though. You see, it is working, and we get the XP. So that's really important. And you can see I'm confused. I'm like, well, maybe I need to get it on the other side. Which eventually, off camera, I'll let you know. I did put 2 down just to make sure I was picking up everything. But there we go. Finally figured it out. Block it in. It's important to block it in as well. Otherwise, your minecart will definitely move without a doubt. And there we go. We have our string farm. The spider farm is complete. That was really awesome, guys. That was really good work. Pretty easy build, all in all. I was just being slow in terms of like some pretty basic stuff. But it's all good. That is awesome. So I guess I'll see you guys next time with another update on my Minecraft world.